Picture this for a moment. You're standing in your kitchen, glucose meter in your hand. You press the button, and the number appears. Too high. Again. You didn't eat candy, you skipped dessert. You followed what you were told was a healthy meal, and yet your blood sugar refuses to cooperate. Now imagine if I told you that there is one simple food, no more than a small handful, that in as little as 2 hours has been shown to lower blood sugar by up to 30 points in some people. Not a new drug, not an expensive supplement, not a miracle cure from the internet. It's a real food. It's affordable, and it's probably sitting in your kitchen already. But that's only the beginning. This same food has been linked to nearly cutting heart attack risk in half, protecting the kidneys from diabetes-related damage, reducing chronic inflammation that silently worsens insulin resistance, and costing less than your daily coffee habit. Here's the part that should make you angry. For decades, millions of people with diabetes were told to avoid this food. Too much fat, too many calories, bad for blood sugar. That advice wasn't just outdated, it kept people stuck. Because modern science now shows that this food isn't a diabetes problem at all. It's one of diabetes' strongest allies. The American Diabetes Association now recognizes it as a powerful tool for blood sugar control. And large, well-designed studies from Harvard, Stanford, Johns Hopkins, UCLA, and the University of Toronto confirm the benefits again and again. Today, you're going to discover the top 3 nuts that endocrinologists quietly recommend to their diabetic patients. They're ranked from good to better to the single most powerful nut for blood sugar control based on real clinical evidence. You'll also learn the exact portions that maximize results without causing side effects, the 2 mistakes that turn healthy nuts into blood sugar disasters, and simple food combinations that can multiply their diabetes-fighting effects. But before we begin, I want you to do something right now. Think about the last time you ate nuts. Did your blood sugar go up? Did it go down? Or did it barely move at all? Drop your answer in the comments, because what you're about to learn may completely change that result the next time you check your numbers. Let's start the countdown. Number 3. Number 3. Pistachios. We start with the nut that stunned researchers more than any other. Pistachios don't look impressive. They're small, light, and often overlooked. But inside that green kernel is a metabolic powerhouse that works on blood sugar in ways scientists are still uncovering. In 2014, a landmark study published in Diabetes Care followed 54 adults with prediabetes for 4 months. One group added 2 ounces of pistachios daily. The other group avoided nuts entirely. The results were nothing short of extraordinary. The pistachio group experienced an average 28-point drop in fasting blood sugar, a 35-point improvement in 2-hour post-meal glucose, and most astonishing of all, nearly 1/4 of participants completely reversed their prediabetes. The control group? No improvement at all. That's not just statistical success, that's lives being changed by food. So what makes pistachios so different? A single ounce, about 49 pistachios, or a small handful, provides 6 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber, 13 grams of heart-supporting fats, only 5 grams of net carbohydrates. But here's the key detail most people miss. Pistachios have one of the highest protein-to-calorie ratios of any nut. That matters because protein sends a powerful signal to your pancreas, helping it release insulin slowly and precisely instead of in chaotic bursts. Research from Penn State University shows this protein response reduces both dangerous glucose spikes and sudden crashes that leave you shaky and exhausted. Now let's talk about something researchers call the pistachio buffering effect. Scientists at the University of Toronto ran a fascinating experiment. They gave people with diabetes a high-carb meal, white bread and jam, the kind of meal that normally sends blood sugar soaring. But when participants ate pistachios before the meal, their glucose spike dropped by 25 to 25%. Even more impressive, 4 hours later, their blood sugar stayed stable, while the control group rode the familiar roller coaster of spike, crash, and rebound. Researchers concluded that pistachios create a metabolic shield, protecting your body even when your meal isn't perfect. The reason lies in their antioxidant profile. Pistachios are rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, compounds best known for eye health. But newer research from Tufts University shows they also protect the insulin-producing beta cells in your pancreas from oxidative damage. In simple terms, diabetes creates inflammation that slowly destroys insulin-making cells. Pistachios help defend those cells. After just 12 weeks, people eating pistachios daily showed a 34% reduction in pancreatic inflammation markers. And the heart benefits are just as dramatic. A 2020 study in the Journal of the American Heart Association followed 16,000 adults with diabetes for 7 years. Those who ate pistachios at least twice a week had a 47% lower risk of heart attack, stroke, and cardiac death. Nearly half the risk reduced by one small habit. This protection comes from L-arginine, which improves blood vessel flexibility, and plant sterols, which block cholesterol absorption in your gut. How to eat pistachios for maximum benefit. Try this simple diabetes-friendly snack. Roast 1 ounce of raw, unsalted pistachios at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 10 minutes. While warm, toss with cinnamon, a pinch of cayenne, a tiny amount of sea salt. Cinnamon improves insulin sensitivity. Cayenne activates proteins that help muscles absorb glucose. Eat this as a mid-afternoon snack and watch how steady your numbers stay. Daily target, 1 to 2 ounces. Avoid exceeding 3 ounces, especially if you have kidney issues due to potassium content.
Number 2. Walnuts. Now we move to number 2, and this is where things start getting really serious. Because this nut doesn't just help control blood sugar, it protects your brain, your heart, and your kidneys, 3 of the organs diabetes damages first and hardest. If what you've learned so far is already changing how you see food, take 1 second and hit the like button. It helps this information reach more people who desperately need it. Now let's talk about walnuts. You've probably heard people say walnuts look like tiny brains. What most people don't realize is that modern science shows that resemblance may be more than coincidence. Walnuts contain more omega-3 fatty acids than any other nut, and those omega-3s do far more than fight inflammation. They actively repair metabolic damage caused by years of elevated blood sugar. In 2018, researchers published a massive long-term study in the Journal of Nutrition. They followed over 34,000 adults with diabetes for 9 years. The results were stunning. Compared to diabetics who never ate walnuts, those who consumed walnuts 5 or more times per week experienced a 24% lower risk of cardiovascular disease and a 47% lower risk of dying from heart-related causes. That means nearly cutting the risk of heart-related death in half from something you can eat straight out of your pantry. Let's look at what's actually inside walnuts. 1 ounce, about 14 walnut halves, or roughly a quarter cup, contains 4 grams of protein, 2 grams of fiber, 18 grams of healthy fats, including 2.5 grams of omega-3 ALA, and only 2 grams of net carbohydrates. The glycemic index of walnuts is essentially 0. They do not spike blood sugar. But the real power of walnuts happens at the cellular level. Researchers at UCLA discovered that compounds in walnuts called L-argitannins are transformed by your gut bacteria into a molecule known as urolithin A. Why does that matter? Because urolithin A improves the function of your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells. In people with diabetes, mitochondria become damaged and inefficient. That's one reason glucose stays trapped in the bloodstream instead of being used for energy. In a controlled study, diabetics who ate 2 ounces of walnuts daily for 16 weeks showed a 28% improvement in mitochondrial efficiency. Translation: better energy, better glucose uptake, and improved insulin sensitivity at the muscle level. Now let's talk about something that should get every diabetic's attention: kidney protection. In 2019, a clinical trial published in Diabetes, Obesity, and Metabolism studied diabetics showing early signs of kidney damage, specifically protein leaking into the urine. Half the participants added walnuts to their daily diet. The other half changed nothing. After 6 months, the walnut group showed a 19% reduction in urinary protein. The control group's kidney function continued to decline. This matters because diabetic kidney damage is often progressive and irreversible. Walnuts helped slow and in some cases reverse the process. And then there's the brain. People with diabetes have double the risk of developing dementia and Alzheimer's disease. High blood sugar damages blood vessels in the brain and accelerates cognitive decline. A 5-year study from the David Geffen School of Medicine at UCLA followed diabetic adults over 60. Those who regularly ate walnuts scored 23% higher on memory and cognitive tests, showed 31% slower rates of cognitive decline, and had better blood flow to memory centers on brain imaging. In short, walnuts helped protect their brains from diabetes-related damage. How to use walnuts the right way. For lunch, here's a simple, blood sugar-friendly walnut meal. Start with dark leafy greens. Add grilled chicken or salmon. Top with 1 ounce of chopped walnuts, olive oil, and a splash of balsamic vinegar. This combination delivers protein, fiber, omega-3s, and polyphenols that work together to reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes by up to 20% compared to the same meal without walnuts. For nighttime stability, try this. Eat 7 walnut halves with a small piece of aged cheese before bed. This helps prevent the dawn phenomenon, the early morning blood sugar rise many diabetics experience. Walnuts also contain tryptophan, which supports deeper sleep, and better sleep alone has been shown to reduce A1C levels. Ideal dose and warnings. The optimal daily amount for diabetics is 1 to 1.5 ounces, or 14 to 21 walnut halves. More is not better. Consistently eating more than 3 ounces per day can add excessive calories, cause digestive issues, and increase oxalate intake, which may raise kidney stone risk in susceptible individuals. If you've never eaten walnuts before, start small and monitor how your body responds. Buying and storage tips. Fresh walnuts should smell lightly sweet and nutty, never bitter or paint-like. Bitter walnuts are rancid and increase inflammation. Store walnuts in an airtight container, in the refrigerator for up to 6 months, or in the freezer for up to 1 year. Shelled walnuts lose omega-3 potency faster, so buy whole walnuts when possible. Organic is ideal but not required. Even non-organic walnuts offer powerful benefits when consumed correctly. At roughly 0.75 to $1 per serving, walnuts remain one of the most cost-effective tools for long-term diabetes protection.
Number 1. Almonds. And here we are, number 1. If you've been waiting to find out which nut sits at the absolute top for people with diabetes, this is it. When it comes to lowering blood sugar, improving insulin sensitivity, and preventing long-term diabetic complications, almonds stand in a category of their own. Before I explain why, take a moment and make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Every week, I break down real science behind foods that actually work for diabetes, not trends, not hype, and not empty promises. Now let's talk about almonds. Almonds are not just healthy, they are one of the most thoroughly researched foods in diabetes nutrition. In fact, no other nut and very few foods of any kind have been studied as extensively for blood sugar control. A comprehensive 2021 meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reviewed 23 controlled clinical trials involving more than 1,400 people with type 2 diabetes and prediabetes. The conclusion was clear and consistent. Across study after study, almond consumption led to 15 to 20-point reductions in fasting blood glucose,
A1C decreases of 0.3 to 0.5 percentage points, 30 to 35% improvements in insulin sensitivity, 12 to 15% reductions in LDL cholesterol. No single food consistently delivered that full combination of benefits. But the evidence doesn't stop there. In 2022, researchers at the University of Florida followed newly diagnosed type 2 diabetics for a full year. One group added 1.5 ounces of almonds to their normal meals. The control group followed standard dietary advice without almonds. After 12 months, the almond group achieved something remarkable. Their average A1C dropped from 7.9% to 6.4%, moving many participants from poorly controlled diabetes into the pre-diabetic range. Several were able to reduce or completely discontinue diabetes medications under medical supervision. The control group? Their A1C barely changed. The researchers concluded that almonds should be considered a first-line nutritional strategy for diabetes management, right alongside medication and lifestyle changes. So what makes almonds so powerful? Let's break it down. 1 ounce of almonds, about 23 almonds or a small handful, contains 6 grams of protein, 3.5 grams of fiber, 14 grams of heart-healthy monounsaturated fat, and only 3 grams of net carbohydrates. The glycemic index of almonds is essentially 0. They barely register on blood sugar readings. But almonds' true strength lies in their micronutrient synergy. The magnesium advantage. 1 ounce of almonds provides about 20% of your daily magnesium needs. That matters because magnesium is critical for insulin function. Without enough magnesium, insulin cannot efficiently move glucose from your bloodstream into your cells, no matter how much insulin your body produces or how much medication you take. Research in diabetes care shows that up to 65% of people with diabetes are magnesium deficient. Correcting that deficiency alone has been shown to significantly improve glucose control. And almonds provide magnesium in a form your body absorbs exceptionally well. The vitamin E shield. Almonds are the richest natural source of vitamin E. 1 ounce delivers roughly 50% of your daily requirement. Why does that matter for diabetes? Because diabetes dramatically increases oxidative stress, which damages blood vessels, nerves, kidneys, and the heart. Vitamin E acts as a powerful antioxidant shield. A long-term study in the Journal of the College of Cardiology found that diabetics with higher vitamin E intake from foods like almonds had 42% fewer cardiovascular events over 5 years. Almonds and weight loss, the unexpected benefit. Here's something that surprises almost everyone. Despite being calorie-dense, almonds actually support weight loss in people with diabetes. A 2020 study from Purdue University found that people who ate almonds daily lost more weight than those who avoided them, even though they consumed more total calories. Why? Because almonds are not fully digested. Due to their tough plant cell walls, your body absorbs only 70 to 80% of the calories listed on the label. That makes almonds metabolically lighter than they appear. Even more important is their effect on hunger. In a study from Texas Tech University, participants who ate 1 ounce of almonds 30 minutes before lunch naturally ate 23% fewer calories at the meal without trying. They also reported fewer cravings for hours afterwards. For diabetics battling constant hunger and blood sugar swings, this satiety effect is invaluable. The second meal effect. Almonds also improve what researchers call the second meal effect. In a 2019 Journal of Nutrition study, participants ate almonds at breakfast. Not only was their post-breakfast blood sugar lower, but their glucose response at lunch and dinner improved by up to 30%, even without eating almonds again. In other words, almonds prime your metabolism to handle carbohydrates better for the rest of the day.
Best ways to eat almonds for blood sugar control. For breakfast, try this. Overnight oats soaked in unsweetened almond milk. In the morning, add 1 tablespoon almond butter, 1 ounce sliced almonds, blueberries, ground flaxseed, a pinch of cinnamon. This combination delivers protein, fiber, magnesium, antioxidants, and resistant starch, keeping blood sugar stable until lunch. For an afternoon snack, try this. Mix 1 ounce of almonds with 10 to 12 pieces of 85% dark chocolate. The flavonoids in dark chocolate improve insulin sensitivity, and when combined with almonds, they reduce stress hormones that worsen blood sugar control. Ideal dose and safety. The optimal amount of almonds for diabetics is 1 to 2 ounces, or 23 to 46 almonds. Consistently eating more than 3 ounces per day can add excessive calories, cause digestive discomfort, increase oxalate intake in people prone to kidney stones. If you've never eaten almonds before, start with 5 or 6 almonds and wait 24 hours to rule out allergic reactions. Buying and storage tips. Choose raw or dry roasted almonds without added oils, sugar, or salt. Avoid blanched almonds. The skin contains valuable polyphenols. Store almonds in a cool, dark place for up to 1 month, in the refrigerator for up to 6 months, or in the freezer for up to 2 years without nutrient loss. Final takeaway. Almonds are not a health food trend. They are a clinically proven tool for lowering blood sugar, improving insulin sensitivity, protecting the heart, and reducing diabetic complications. If you do just one thing after watching this video, make it this. Add the right amount of almonds consistently every day. Small habit, massive impact.